All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says textile sector is key to realizing self-reliant India. Prime Minister says government will continue to focus on speeding up projects of strategic importance and border infrastructure. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath recommends CBI probe in Hathras incident. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.84% in the country. Maharashtra government issues guidelines for restaurants and eateries opening tomorrow. And Vishnu Shivraj Pandyan wins gold in 10-meter air rifle event of International Online Shooting Championship. The details. In our special series on the occasion of 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat. In a post-prayer speech on 21st November 1947, Mahatma Gandhi talked about how did the word Hindu evolve.
वैदिक काल को देखें तो उसमें हिंदू शब्द नहीं था। मैं तो कोई इतिहासकार नहीं हूँ, एक पढ़ी हुई बात सुनाता हूँ। कहते हैं कि जब मुसलमानों का आक्रमण हुआ और उसके पहले सिकंदर का, तो बादशाह सिकंदर वो तो बड़ा लड़ने वाला आदमी था, तो उसमें पीछे उसके साथ तो ग्रीस के लोग इतिहासकार भी रहते थे, वो सब बड़े चतुर थे। तो सिंधु और हिंदू एक ही बात हो गई और ग्रीक में स के बदले में ह आ जाता है, तो वो सिंधु का हिंदू हो गया। तो वो तो नदी का नाम है, तो नदी के इस पार जो रहने वाले हैं वो हिंदू बने। और उस जमाने में तो हिंदुस्तान में हिंदू का स्थान, उसमें सिर्फ हिंदू नहीं रहते थे, उसमें तो पीछे दूसरे तीसरे लोग भी रह जाते थे और वो लोग भी इसमें मिश्र हो गए, तो वो उसका धर्म वो हिंदू धर्म बना।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the textile sector is a key sector that will help build an Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India. Addressing an international webinar on textile traditions organized by Indian Council for Cultural Relations ICCR yesterday, Mr. Modi said, to assist our weavers in continuing to make world-class products, we want to learn global best practices and also our best practices.
Today, we look at textile as a key sector that will help us build an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Our self-reliant India. Our government is particularly focusing on skills upgradation, financial assistance, integration the sector with latest technology. We are assisting our weavers to help them continue to make world-class products.
The Prime Minister said the exchange of ideas and sharing of best practices in this webinar will create new avenues for collaboration. Mr. Modi said the textile sector has always brought opportunities and domestically the sector is among the highest job providers in India.
Our link with the textile sector goes back centuries. In the textile sector, you can see our history, our diversity and immense opportunity. India has textile traditions that are very old. We were one of the earliest to spin, weave and dye cotton. Naturally, colored cotton has a long and glorious history in India.
Mr. Modi said, world over, the textile sector employs many women and thus a vibrant textile sector will add strength to efforts of women empowerment. He said we need to prepare for our future in challenging times. He also added that textile traditions of the country have showcased powerful ideas and principles like diversity and adaptability, self-reliance, skill and innovation, and these principles have become even more relevant now. Mr. Modi said the program is organized in the context of Gandhiji's 151st birth anniversary celebrations. He said Mahatma Gandhi saw a close link between the textile sector and social empowerment and converted the simple charkha into a key symbol of India's independence movement. He said the charkha wove us together as one nation.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the government has put in its full strength for the development of border infrastructure. The Prime Minister was speaking after inaugurating the strategically important all-weather Atal Tunnel at Rohtang in Himachal Pradesh. The Prime Minister said it is a historic day as not only Atalji's dream but also that of the people of Himachal Pradesh has been fulfilled. The Prime Minister said construction of roads, bridges and tunnels is being carried out on a large scale with special emphasis on the development of border infrastructure. He said its benefits are being extended to the common people as well as the armed forces personnel.
इसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ सामान्य जनों के साथ ही हमारे फौजी भाई बहनों को भी हो रहा है। सर्दी के मौसम में उन तक रसद पहुंचाना हो, उनकी रक्षा से जुड़े साजो सामान हो, वो आसानी से पेट्रोलिंग कर सकें, इसके लिए सड़कों का जाल बिछाया जा रहा है। देश की रक्षा करने वालों की जरूरतों का ध्यान रखना हमारी सरकार की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता में से एक है।
The Prime Minister said Atal Tunnel will not only benefit the people of Himachal Pradesh but will also be a lifeline for Leh, Ladakh. He said for the government there is nothing bigger than the safety and security of the people.
अब सही मायनों में हिमाचल प्रदेश का ये बड़ा क्षेत्र और लेह लद्दाख देश के बाकी हिस्सों से हमेशा जुड़े रहेंगे, प्रगति पथ पर तेजी से आगे बढ़ेंगे। इस टनल से मनाली और केलोंग के बीच की दूरी 3-4 घंटे कम हो जाएगी। पहाड़ के मेरे भाई बहन समझ सकते हैं कि पहाड़ पर 3-4 घंटे की दूरी कम होने का मतलब क्या होता है। लेह लद्दाख के किसानों, बागवानों, युवाओं के लिए भी अब देश की राजधानी दिल्ली और दूसरे बाजार तक उनकी पहुंच आसान हो जाएगी।
The Prime Minister drove through the Atal Tunnel from the south portal of the tunnel at Manali to the north portal at Sisu in Lahaul Spiti. He flagged off the HRTC bus service from the north to south portal through the tunnel towards Manali. The Atal Bihari Vajpayee government had taken the decision to construct a strategic tunnel below the Rohtang Pass on June 3, 2000, and the foundation stone for the access road to the south portal of the tunnel was laid on May 26, 2002. In December 2019, the government decided to name the Rohtang Tunnel as Atal Tunnel in honor of the former Prime Minister and scholar Atal Bihari Vajpayee. On the occasion, Prime Minister addressed two public gatherings, one at Sisu in Lahaul Valley and another at Solang in Manali. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the summit RAISE 2020, Responsible AI for Social Empowerment 2020 on Monday. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Niti Aayog are organizing the mega virtual summit on artificial intelligence AI from the 5th to 9th of October. RAISE 2020 will be a global meeting of minds to exchange ideas and chart a course for using AI for social transformation, inclusion and empowerment in areas like healthcare, agriculture, education and smart mobility among other sectors. At the RAISE 2020, delegates and experts in research, policy and innovation on artificial intelligence will join from across the globe.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has recommended a CBI probe into the Hathras incident. In a tweet, Chief Minister said he has recommended CBI probe in all aspects linked to the Hathras episode. He said the state government is determined to ensure the harshest punishment for all those responsible for this incident. The state government had earlier ordered an SIT inquiry into the incident. Yesterday, UP Additional Chief Secretary Home Avnish Awasthi and Director General of Police HS Awasthi travelled from Lucknow to meet the victim's family. Talking to media persons in Hathras, Additional Chief Secretary Home Avnish Awasthi said orders for the suspension of police personnel, including the Superintendent of Police, were issued within 2 hours of receiving the first report of the SIT team sent to the village.
जो भी दोषी होगा उसके विरुद्ध कठोरतम कार्रवाई करेंगे। SIT की जांच चल रही है। परिवारजनों ने एक एक चीज अपनी जो नोट हमको कराई है, हमने उन्हें कहा है कि SIT बैठकर जितना भी समय लगेगा, परिवार की तरफ से जो भी बिंदु आएंगे, जो भी उनकी शिकायत भी होगी, उसको SIT नोट करेगा और एक एक चीज पर हम समाधान निकालने का प्रयास करेंगे।
The woman died of grievous injuries in the early hours of Tuesday at a Delhi hospital, a fortnight after she was attacked by a group of men. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that the world now looks towards India as a trusted, reliable partner in the global supply chain. Addressing the 74th annual session of Hindustan Chamber of Commerce virtually, Mr. Goyal said that the whole world recognizes the phenomenal work India has taken in our fight against the pandemic and in our rapid recovery. He said India's abilities to become self-reliant, expand scale of operation, introduce good manufacturing practices and improve quality are all being recognized by the world. The minister said he can say with pride that Indian industry has come up to the expectations of the people of the country. Mr. Goyal said that we are all working together to reframe and reimagine our businesses, re-engineer the way government works, and change policies, laws and procedures to make them contemporary.
The Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Rao Saab Danve, has said that the Agriculture Reforms Law is an important step in doubling the income of farmers by 2022. Addressing a press conference in Aurangabad, the Minister said that earlier only licensed traders could trade in the market committee, but with this bill, farmers can sell their produce in the open market, which will end the middlemen's monopoly from the market. He also stated that this bill will not affect the guaranteed price. Mr. Danve informed that the bill was tabled before a committee of chief ministers from various states before it was passed. He also said it was unfortunate that the opposition was opposing the law just to do politics. Responding to the Akali Dal's withdrawal from the NDA, Mr. Danve said that the Congress, in its manifesto for the last assembly elections in Punjab, had stated that it would pass the same law. Labour and Employment Minister Santosh Gangwar has said that the new farm laws and labour reform laws will benefit farmers and workers immensely. Speaking at a national conference organised by PhD Chamber of Commerce through video conference, Mr. Gangwar said that the new farm laws are aimed at providing marketing freedom to farmers for selling their produce anywhere in the country. He emphasised that farmers would now be able to sell their produce at better prices in other states as well. The minister also brushed aside the apprehensions about scrapping of minimum support price MSP, saying there has been considerable increase in support price of the crops compared to the UPA regimes.
Central and Western Railways have allowed candidates appearing for Union Public Services Commission prelims and their escorts to travel by special suburban services over Mumbai Suburban Railway Network during 2 days of the examination over this weekend. Exam call letter and identity card of the candidate will be considered as authority for entry at the stations.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says textile sector is key to realizing self-reliant India. Prime Minister says government will continue to focus on speeding up projects of strategic importance and border infrastructure. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath recommends CBI probe in Hathras incident. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.84% in the country. Maharashtra government issues guidelines for restaurants and eateries opening tomorrow. And Vishnu Shivraj Pandian wins gold in 10-meter air rifle event of International Online Shooting Championship. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
India continues to occupy the top global position as the country with the maximum number of COVID recoveries. The total recoveries has crossed 54 lakh. It accounts for 21% of the global recovered cases, while its share in the total cases stands at 18.6%. India has maintained its global position with one of the lowest case fatality rates, CFR, when compared to several other countries. While the global CFR stands at 2.97% as on date, the comparative figure for India is 1.56%. The deaths per million population in India is one of the lowest in the world. While the global average is 130 deaths per million population, India is reporting almost half, that is 73 deaths per million population. India's steady trend of posting high number of daily recoveries continues with 75,628 recoveries registered in the last 24 hours. Higher number of single-day recoveries is also reflected in the continuous increase in the national recovery rate, which is at present 83.84%. A total of 2,258 fresh cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Delhi yesterday, taking the infection tally in the city to over 2,87,000. Delhi government has said that over 2,57,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 3,440 people recovered and 34 deaths were reported in the national capital, taking the toll to 5,472. Presently, the total number of active cases in Delhi is 25,234. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that during the corona pandemic, the state police is acting as a strong pillar in containing the infection. The Chief Minister was addressing through video conference the convocation of probationary deputy superintendents of police, DSPs, and assistant prosecuting officers, APOs, at Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar Police Academy, Moradabad yesterday. He said UP Police has discharged obligations under all circumstances. More details on this from our correspondent.
Directing to increase COVID-19 testing, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that it is very important to increase contact tracing for containing the pandemic. He said that special attention should be paid on cleanliness in hospitals and biomedical waste be disposed as per norms, and the doctors should take rounds at regular intervals in COVID hospitals, and it be ensured that ambulance services operate actively. Meanwhile, Health Department report said that 3,665 fresh cases of COVID-19 were detected and 4,860 recoveries reported in last 24 hours in the state. There are total 47,823 active cases of corona. The recovery rate has increased to 86.89%. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
Madhya Pradesh government has prohibited spraying of disinfectant and germicidal substances on people for prevention of COVID-19 infection under any circumstances. In pursuance of the order issued by the Supreme Court in this regard, the State Health Commissioner has asked all the collectors and concerned officials to strictly follow this. We have a report.
The Health Commissioner clarified that the use of chemical and pesticides only be recommended for spraying on suspected sites and surfaces of COVID-19. Spraying has not recommended on individuals or group under any circumstances. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 cases in the state climbed up to more than 1,34,000 after 1,811 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours. With 27 patients succumbing to the infection, the death toll rose to 2,399. As per the State Health Bulletin, 2,101 coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospitals in the past 24 hours, taking the number of recovered cases in the state to around 1,12,000. There are now 19,807 active cases in Madhya Pradesh. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Odisha government has issued standard operating procedures for the use of tablet Favipiravir to COVID-19 patients during home isolation. According to the SOP, the antiviral can be administered to eligible symptomatic patients in home isolation only after proper medical assessment and with the informed consent of the patient. More report.
Against the backdrop of a significant number of COVID-19 patients in home isolation, the state government felt the necessity of administering the antiviral to them, though with several riders. The doorstep delivery of the antiviral therapy through rapid response teams is an attempt to further tone up the COVID-19 treatment ecosystem. Accordingly, the district collectors and municipal commissioners have been asked for strict adherence to the SOP, which include proper assessment and constant monitoring of the health conditions of the concerned patient. Meanwhile, Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has donated plasma in the SCB Medical College in Cuttack yesterday with an appeal for convalescent plasma donation. Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik too has appealed afresh to the recovered patients to donate plasma, which the state government has been promoting as one of the treatment options for COVID-19. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
Maharashtra government has issued COVID-19 safety guidelines for restaurants and other eateries that have been allowed to reopen from tomorrow with 50% occupancy. These guidelines will help ensure health and safety of the staff and patrons in the sector and reassure the public towards hospitality sector. The protocol will facilitate traceability of the visitors in case a situation in future warrants. A report from our correspondent.
As per the SOPs, all customers will be screened at the entry point for fever, chills, cough, and only asymptomatic customers shall be allowed inside. Face mask is mandatory and is allowed to be removed only while eating. Customers should observe physical distance while waiting outside the restaurant. It is mandatory to keep hand sanitizers at the restaurants. The standardized operating system suggested that digital contactless payments should be preferred over cash payments. The restaurant furniture, restrooms, and hand washing areas should be cleaned from time to time, and there should be glass barriers while interacting with customers. For dining facility, prior reservation be made to avoid crowding. As for the food served, only cooked food should be given to the customers in the restaurant. Salads like raw and cold foods should not be in the menu card. Sonali Ghadiyar Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Gujarat, total 1,21,119 patients have recovered from COVID-19 till now. The recovery rate has improved to 85.66%. More details from our correspondent.
The total cases detected so far in Gujarat have reached up to 1,41,398. 1,304 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 45,88,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date, out of which 57,065 tests were carried out yesterday. Maximum 277 new cases reported from Surat. At present, total active cases in the state are 16,789, out of which 91 patients are on ventilator. 12 patients died yesterday, taking the total death due to COVID-19 up to 3,490. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has added 7 new areas in the micro-containment zone following detection of new cases. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Karnataka, 9,886 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported yesterday, taking the tally to 6,30,516. On the other hand, 8,989 people recovered and were discharged from various hospitals in the state, and the total recoveries have increased to 5,08,495. As many as 1,12,783 COVID active patients are taking treatment across the state, and among them 841 are in the ICU.
RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat has said that people's faith in the Sangh is constantly growing because of the social work being done by the organization. On the first day of his 2-day visit to Jaipur, Mr. Bhagwat held discussions with RSS workers on work being done by them during COVID-19. He says social harmony meetings should be held so that social evils prevailing in the society can be eradicated. Along with this, discussions were also held about the training being given for self-employment and the projects being run to help people become self-reliant. The Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Narvane and Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla will be on a 2-day visit to Myanmar beginning today. During their visit, the delegation will call on the State Council of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, and Commander-in-Chief of the Myanmar Armed Forces, Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. The visit will provide an opportunity to take stock of the existing bilateral ties and strengthen cooperation in areas of mutual interest. India-Myanmar relations are historic, multifaceted, and marked by mutual trust and respect. India attaches high priority to its relationship with Myanmar in accordance with its Neighbourhood First and Act East policies. The second edition of the bilateral naval exercise, Bongo Sagar, between India and Bangladesh was held yesterday in northern Bay of Bengal. Ships from both navies participated in surface warfare, drills, seamanship, evolutions and helicopter operations. Indian Navy ships Kiltan and Kukri and Bangladesh Navy ships Abu Bakr, Protoy, Hello and MPA undertook maneuvers, surface drills, Hello operations and seamanship evolutions. Bongo Sagar will be followed by the third edition of India-Bangladesh Coordinated Patrol Corpat on 4th to 5th October.
One-day state mourning is being observed across India today as a mark of respect to Amir of Kuwait, Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmad Al-Jabbar Al-Sabah, who passed away on September 29th. The national flag will be flown at half-mast today on all buildings throughout India where it is flown regularly. Also, there will not be any official entertainment today. U.S. President Donald Trump, who was admitted to a military hospital for treatment of COVID-19, is in exceptionally good spirits and has been fever-free for the past 24 hours, his doctors said. Speaking outside the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, where 74-year-old Trump was admitted yesterday, Dr. Sean Coney said the president had mild cough and some nasal congestion, fatigue on Thursday, all of which are resolving and improving. India's Vishnu Shivraj Pandyan won the 10-meter air rifle event at the 5th edition of the International Online Shooting Championship yesterday. The 16-year-old Vishnu shot 251.4 to win the title by a clear margin of 2 points. The second place was won by world number 27 Etienne Gaumont of France, while Olympic quota winner Martin Stremp of Austria took the third place. Shooters from 15 countries are participating in the two-day competition.
In the IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 18 runs in Sharjah last night. Chasing a victory target of 229 runs, Kolkata made 210. Put into bat, Delhi made 228. Earlier in another match at Abu Dhabi, Royal Challengers Bangalore defeated Rajasthan Royals by 8 wickets. Chasing 155 runs, Bangalore achieved the target in 19.1 overs and made 158. Skipper Virat Kohli remained unbeaten on 72. Devdutt Padikkal made 63 runs. In today's encounters, while Mumbai Indians will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad at 3:30 p.m. in Sharjah, Kings 11 Punjab will meet Chennai Super Kings at 7:30 p.m. in Dubai.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 18 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 38 degrees. The city will have a mainly clear sky. Srinagar and Ladakh will also have a mainly clear sky, while the temperature in Srinagar will hover between 8 and 28 degrees Celsius. In Ladakh, the minimum temperature will be 0 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 23 degrees. Gilgit will experience a mainly clear sky. Temperatures will hover between 8 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, again, there will be mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 13 degrees and the maximum will be around 33 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 20 and 33 degrees Celsius. In Chandigarh, the minimum temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. The national capital Delhi will have a mainly clear sky. It will have a minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius and the maximum will go up to 36 degrees. In Mumbai, rain or thunder showers would occur towards evening or night. Minimum temperature around 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. Chennai will experience a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperatures will hover between 26 and 35 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness a generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 32 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. In Ahmedabad, minimum temperature around 24 degrees, while the maximum could go up to 36 degrees Celsius. Patna, minimum temperature 26 degrees, and the maximum will be around 33 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. With the majestic Atal Tunnel cutting Manali-Leh distance by 46 kilometers, most newspapers today lead with the picture of the inauguration ceremony yesterday. The Indian Express headline reads, PM opens Atal Tunnel, says delayed border projects on fast track. While the Asian Age quoting the Prime Minister taking a dig at the Congress states, defence interests were compromised for years. Rocking to the rhythm of Hill, the statesman has a picture of tribal women dancing on the arrival of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Sisu in Lahore, Spiti. With all hopes pinned on the COVID vaccine, the Times of India states, COVID vaccine rollout likely in less than 3 months in UK. With some respite to borrowers, the Financial Express takes note of loan moratorium, with the centre deciding to waive compound interest on specified loans of up to ₹2 crores. Hailing the survival instinct, the Hindu talks of an extinct tree, Madhuka diplosmin, found after 180 years in the Kollam Grove. And finally, giving wings to dreams, the Hindustan Times has picture of a beaming Shivangi Singh, who at 25 is all set to make history as the first woman to fly a Rafale fighter jet for the Indian Air Force.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says textile sector is key to realizing self-reliant India. Prime Minister says government will continue to focus on speeding up projects of strategic importance and border infrastructure. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath recommends CBI probe in Hathras incident. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.84% in the country. Maharashtra government issues guidelines for restaurants and eateries opening tomorrow. And Vishnu Shivraj Pandian wins gold in 10-meter air rifle event of International Online Shooting Championship. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.